Okay, so I was out earlier to take care of some cats and came back and realized there was a protest down here at the 16th Street Walnut for better wages, a better contract, what have you. I don't know what they get paid now. It seems like there was some kind of uppage a ways back. Just Seattle usually goes higher, and then the rest of the country is supposed to follow. Whole Foods did. Whole Foods, there was something passed in Seattle, like the minimum wage was like 15 or 17. Whole Foods followed suit throughout the country, but Starbucks didn't, and it's hard to unionize Starbucks, but I feel like one store was unionized in another state, but anyway. Oddly, I wound up with a little Christmas gift from my client and wound up getting a Starbucks card, and wound up having Starbucks from another location before showing up. Like, I live a block away, so I wouldn't have walked down this way. But because I heard them, this looks like the organizer here being interviewed, seemingly a trans person here. So should I go behind? Oh, they did. Oh, Catch 29.
Don't cross that picket line. 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 Don't cross that picket line.
Alright, this is what I was supposed to do. So, people are out here protesting for better wages. Workers Unite on ULP strike.
When do we want it?
So,
What do we want? Contracts!
they've never picketed in Philadelphia that I know of, so
When do we want it? Now! If we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
if we don't get it,
Shut it down!
so that's it. Starbucks protesting, very rare to happen. Guy in a cape and everything. They've got orange, which orange can sometimes, maybe, to some people, represent emergency. Like, it's back in the day, you would, like, people who were in that world of 911, like orange and red are the top tier emergency situations. So anyway, people in this way. So there's your protest for the morning. I found a song last night by Paloma Faith. I missed her as an artist somehow in my life while she was becoming popular. I was sort of that's what I was told to do. So eagles feathers here, I guess, on side of ham. Side and ham, and State and Liberty across the street. And North Face, the hard climb, Brooks Brothers, and Pansy, the fish hook high. Clock. So last night I came across a song. I was in a mood, and sometimes listening to music helps me cope or sort of get through a mood. So I was in music mode last night. I came across Paloma Faith. Interestingly, we have a hotel called Palomar, just like half a block up from where I live. So all you need to do is put in an R and it would be Palomar. And Palomar has like a picture of Benjamin Franklin in the lamp, like the light above the valet area where you first come in through the doors. The funny part is it has bars, like in the part of the construction of the lamp is that you can see through the transparent plastic glass, if you will. And it looks like Benjamin Franklin behind bars. But anyway, so Paloma Faith had a song about love hurts too much or something like that, I forget. And one of the videos has her at the Brit Awards, and her hands are all blackened and charred, and she has her hair slicked back a certain way, long blonde hair at the time, and a long dress that was blue and black. Like charring, but she talks about a death kiss, And this came up in my world. I experienced something really weird, and on one hand I was grateful to experience one thing that helped me get through a lot of harassment. Like, this city was a machine of innuendo, nuance, skits, scenarios, people playing out all kinds of crazy stuff. The thing is, like, higher level people can add layers of meaning, and they can actually, it could transmit to you. So there are people whose lives are great and they're wondering why people are depressed. It's possible that depressed people might be transmitted to by bad people or family rings that are in control. That's an actual fact. So anyway, the death kiss. So I met someone a long time ago and I was like, who is she? This was someone named Elizabeth. She walked into the Giovanni's Room gay bookstore where I worked. And I had to know her. I'm like, who's this interesting character? You know, it was more than that. I was just like, who is Elizabeth? Anyway, she would mention something about a death kiss, or almost like Black Widow Spider. It's like the kiss of death. Sorry, it's really the kiss of death, which is more familiar of a phrase to people. So the kiss of death would be like, some people would assume like, oh, you didn't wind up, say, in a gay or lesbian relationship, did you? Like, people who are really very right-wing and strict and so forth and so on would see that as a death kiss, if you will. But it's written about, maybe it might even be in the Bible, I'm not sure. It's preached out there somewhere, this idea of a death kiss. Do you go up to the other side? So the idea would be, what if you wound up in a relationship, straight or gay, with the wrong family, if you will? It's like old ideas of like Romeo and Juliet and similar, and technically that was a death kiss, because the idea is, because they couldn't be together based on their family's desires, they wound up doing like a suicidal pact or something. I forget what the whole story is, but poison on the lips or what have you. It could be all metaphorical, but point being, sometimes people wind up with people they shouldn't be with. And that was the suggestion of someone who wanted to hang out with me. We'll just say her name was like Heather or something. And this is eons ago, but she wanted to hang out. And I was like, are you really? Like, you want to hang out with me? I was in a whole phase of like, I actually felt a little bit manly-ish or guy-ish. I'm like, oh my gosh, you know. So anyway, someone would suggest that was the kiss of death, if you will. Anyway, to go so that would come up a lot, kiss of death. And then this song with the death kiss, I was like, oh my God, you know. And say you're tortured so badly that you kind of understand, you know, like severe oppression or the pain that people feel who are not part of the overly privileged class. I already understood pain. We grew up with divorce, desegregation, and drugs, and that created a lot of issues. All right, yay. So anyway, death kiss. There's all kinds of portions of the takedown program. So sometimes there are people who desperately need to work, and they will